Hello, and welcome to Marxist Clover. I'm your host, Eric Hobbs Bond, and this is my co-host, The Angles Next Door.
Hello!
This is a continuation of our run-through of the anime of the summer 2024 anime season. It went a bit long, so here's the second part, so I won't waste any time. Let's just get right to it. Okay, so then we got Gigi Harem, also known as Pseudo Harem.
I think it's the best show of the season.
Really?
Yeah. I love the show. It's funny.
Great.
It's snappy.
Yeah, it's just great romance.
It's snappy. It's a tour de force by the voice actress who we will not look up, but she has been in a lot of stuff. She's been in...
She's Yaw in Spy Family.
Is she Amory? Is Amory from Demon School as well?
Yes, I think so.
I think she's great. I really like how I think they get married at the end. Spoiler, I guess. But like it's a good beginning, middle, and end of the typical romance arc of a story. And I love the characters. I like that there's a short bit when he's in college. They like the characters they introduce. I like the sister character. Did forget to mention this is the season of the sister, of the younger sister. Because technically we missed out on talking about in Losing Heroine, the main character also has a younger sister. Yeah. It's also a support character.
Yeah, actual good support but younger sisters rather than weird.
I cannot overstate that I do think this is a masterpiece in a romance anime of this year. I really liked it.
Yeah, I would really like to recommend the show to one of our favorite infamous websites, romancechecker.com. I think it's .com.
Yes, it is. Oh my god, what a gregreat website! I love that website. Because there's no cheating. There's no breakup.
So this website is a website by I think someone in Germany, and this person has very particular taste in romance, which are. So she doesn't want any cheating, like no love triangles. She doesn't want any drama. She just wants happiness. And this show provides that. Like, it does. It's just wholesome.
It's snappy, quick. Diabetes, as some people say, even though I hate that. So that's why I really just said that, because I hate people saying that. It's weird. Diabetes is a problem, people.
That's true.
Don't make it a joke.
That's true. It's a cute romance anime until you get diabetic retinopathy.
I know we haven't even described it, but I just watch it. It's good. I just don't know what else to say. It'll grab you.
Yes, if you're listening, romancechecker.com, you'll enjoy this one.
We'll take you as a sponsor.
This is not a sponsored message.
No, we do like it. Also, to answer your question, it is the main girl is the fighting character.
Okay.
Because she has multiple personalities, and you could do some fun things with that. And I think that's
a bit cruel to say she has multiple personalities.
Okay,
she can
act. She acts. Yeah,
she can act multiple personalities. Each of them would
have a different fighting style.
Oh yeah, that'll be good. Awesome. So next up, we got I Parry Everything.
I love this show. This is one of my other favorite shows of the season. I love everything about the show. The show starts off pretty tame. I like that the last episode basically repeats the first episode. Basically, the main character has no ability, goes and lives in this city state, and he can learn all the low level things, and he's he's really discouraged. But then he trains to parry everything. For our Soulsborne people, yeah, he's that cool. He can parry everything. You think you're good. You can think you're good at parrying. You think you can beat Sekiro. He can beat Sekiro at, I don't remember if there's New Game Pluses, at New Game Plus 100,000. That's how good he is at parrying. He's really good at parrying. I love this show. It gets better, and also the main character is 30. I'm 30, so I connect with the main character a lot. I'm 30. And I love it. It's fascinating. Like, the character is kind of a good comedy show, in my opinion. He's like so OP, but he doesn't know that he's OP.
Oh, okay.
And that makes it very funny.
I mean, that is a very overused trope in isekai, but this seems like an angle to it to make it more interesting.
It's not isekai though. And it doesn't have like the UI, as I call the UI isekai. Like we learned that secretly all the people that he went to learn skills from, like all thought he was a genius. But he like lived in the mountains, so nobody did it. But like there eventually is an arc where like the city-state is attacked. That whole journey is like, if you want to see some bombastic like action comedy, that like whole arc about them getting attacked is great. I would rank this. It's on High Dive. I think it's like Helck, like the Helck of this year, where I don't know if anyone's talking about this. Even though I think Helck is a much better show. Another sleeper hit from last year. Such a great show. Love Helck. Mm-hmm. But for me, yes. I absolutely adored I Parry Everything. I think this is a great show.
Wow.
Yeah. Watch it. I don't remember the opening or ED. Unlike the next show.
Okay, so who's
the Elusive Samurai?
So is the main character the fighting game character?
Yeah, I think he might be one of the first times where I actually say yes.
Like he actually would legitimately be an amazing fighting character.
Yeah, he'd be really funny. Yeah, no, definitely. I think he's fun. Elusive Samurai. I definitively think this has my favorite ED of the season.
The Elusive Samurai.
I don't normally watch the ED. Yeah, I liked the show. It's a little weird. It's a strange show. It has strange artistic... Like, I think it's most interesting for its weird artistic choices that might probably be linked to the fact that the person that made Assassination Classroom made this. But, like, there's some really gross, like, choices that I think are fun and interesting. Based about this guy set in
Kamakura era.
Like
you don't hear you don't see the Kamakura era represented enough in media. Everyone loves the Warring States, the Edo, but I don't know if it's called the Warring States. That might be Chinese. Everyone likes the Edo period and the lead up to the Edo period. But yeah, poor old Kamakura shogunate is not given the love.
He is a lord that basically loses his land and has to retake it, but he's learned how to retake it. He's not really good at fighting. He's only really good at avoiding fighting. It is about him learning to be good at fighting. The comedy's good. It's a little weird. The main priest guy that's in the show is really strange and is weird. I think this is a show, like, if you want, like, once the show is, I think it's being dubbed. Like, I just think, like, wait for it to be dubbed if you haven't watched it yet. Just go all the way through it. I think this is a good show to binge. Like, I haven't enjoyed, this is a show I've enjoyed watching week to week, but like, it's a show that it's hard for me when I'm not watching it to like it. Mm-hmm. But when I do watch it, I like it quite a bit. And the ED is great. I think it's my favorite ED of the season by quite a distance.
Wow.
Yeah. Probably my favorite ED of the year, maybe.
I'm gonna have to watch it.
I know we're kind of busting through. This is what I said earlier, where I've watched quite a bit of the shows, and Housebound hasn't watched as many.
Not even close to as many. So who's the fighting game character?
I think it has to be the person that killed... Like, the main antagonist of the show is a psychopath. Like, the show is... It may say comedy, but, like, it's like, really gory. It's almost like... It's super gory. And the main guy is, like, the devil with a smiling face, basically. Where he's, like... Or he seems like a nice guy, but, like, this guy is just a complete psychopath. It's interesting. I think, and he's big and strong. Main character will also be a good choice because he fights so strangely.
Yeah, that sounds like a fun style.
Yeah. Main character. Let's go with the main character then. So, How to Become Ordinary So I need to rewatch it, but you really like Hyoka.
I love Hyoka.
And we'll probably have have to have an episode on...
Hyoka has a special place in my heart.
This is made by the same author that made Hyoka.
The light novel.
And, yeah. This is called Hushimin How to Become Ordinary. I think this is like a boring show. I only could watch a few episodes. I thought it was so boring. I think the Paris Olympics interrupted the flow of this. Because, like weirdly, where I'm like, what if the Paris Olympics didn't exist? Would I have actually watched this? What if I actually would have to get myself to watch more of this.
Okay.
I did not enjoy it all that much.
Okay. I'm going to have to watch it since it is the Hyoka author.
Why does nobody remember me in this world? That should be a banger of an anime. It's fine. It's not bad. It's not great. It's not even good. Basically, it has a decent premise where in the first episode, main character is basically talking to his childhood friend. So let's go off, and then like out of nowhere, the world line shifts like Steins Gate, and now humanity is no longer doing good. The world is destroyed. The demons are there, and the main character's like, why does nobody remember me in this world? Because nobody remembers him in this world.
Oh, so it is kind of Steins Gate. Well, no, not really.
But then, I mean, kinda, except there's, like, some nefarious things, but it comes, like, very, formulaic, and I think the rating on here is 6.45. Like, there's just a generic kind of aspect to this show that I get. It's not all that great. It's not all that bad either.
Okay.
I was hoping it'd be a better show. Fighting game character. I like the vampire demon. She was fun. I need to recommend more women. So she's okay.
Okay. The next one is Our Last Crusade, or The Rise of a New World, Season 2.
The first season of the show hit at a time when I cared about this show, like, a lot. Like, it really, like, this is one of those shows where sometimes you're like, oh, what's on Crunchyroll? Or, I think this may have been it's on Crunchyroll. And I was like, this show is pretty lit. And I watched it, and I'm like, this show is still pretty lit. It's not great. We're not going to describe what it's about. My biggest flaw with this show is the Paris Olympics.
That seems like a running theme with mediocre shows.
Like, it went from existing to not existing anymore. Like, I was looking at it earlier today, or like I think yesterday, in preparation for this. And yeah, there's only 4 episodes of season 2.
Oh.
So I don't know if like production was halted. So technically, there's not much I could say. I watched all 4 episodes because like the first season, basically it's like a Romeo and Juliet story where there's like the technological empire the dude is a part of fights the magical empire. Then there's all these other like city-states that are not necessarily involved in this fight. It's just weird. I kind of like it a lot. I mean, the show is fine. It's fine. But like I said, Paris Olympics destroyed any hype for this show. So I don't know what's happened. It's sad. It's sad. It's sad.
Any characters stick out to you?
I actually like most of the characters. There's a guy that doesn't wear a shirt. More men that don't wear shirts and our punk boys should be in fighting games because we love them. So I'll just put that guy.
So next one is Nier Automata, version 1.
Part 2. I actually need to watch this. I love Nier Automata. It's such a great game. I'm kind of waiting for the dub to catch up, and right now I'm in the process of watching ReZero again, and I finished up Robotics Notes a while back too. But this show I need to finish because, like, I remember from when I watched the first few episodes of this show, that, like, there were some things that felt like Yoko Taro, maybe, I don't know how much involved he is with this. That's the creator of Nier Automata. Maybe they're implying that, like, I don't think it's like a rebuild of Evangelion, but like there's an implication that, I mean, it looks like a very straight adaptation of like the best ending of the game.
Okay,
which is fine because I think like A2 shows up and A2's a great character. So if choosing a fighting game for this person to be in, it'd be 2B because 2B was already in Soul Calibur. I think 6. So she technically already is in one.
That's awesome.
I mean, if it gets more people to experience this story, and I mean, there's literally, like, in the game, there's talk of Nietzsche and Marx as it is. Like, play the game. Like, the game is great. It's beautiful. It's a wonderful world. Like, play it on even play it on easiest mode, like, so you experience the story. Like, I think there's a YouTuber called Super Bunny Hop. He has some fun analysis of some of like the literary and philosophical aspects of Nier Automata. I can't recommend Nier Automata. It's one of my favorite games of all time. So this adaptation, I'll watch it. It doesn't matter. I'll eventually finish it.
Okay, the next one is Senpai is an Otonoko.
I think in terms of pushing a like thought process for, I like this show a lot. I think this is probably
a really good show.
Like, it is so queer that it's post queer. Like I don't even know if I'm ready for next week's episode of this show because it's gonna be really sad. Hopefully, but if it's not, then this is just the best show ever. This is like, there is a trans character,
a cis game character,
and an asexual character.
We got some ace representation in an anime.
Yeah, and I think they create a perfect polycule. So this is how this should go.
Yes, they need to all get together.
Forever.
It's a great polycule.
And I don't know if there's memers why the rating is 6.99. Like, no, I think the show is really good.
We know why it's that. It's because of homophobia.
Probably. I think we might talk about this some other time.
Yeah, I think it deserves a deep dive. And for a more serious
I really like
dive.
The show. Yeah, because I don't want to be jokey about it.
Which I don't want to make it sound like it's a depressing, dark show. It's actually really fun, and
it's very fun. It's optimistic.
Yeah, it's optimistic.
It's something that it's something that's like something when you tackle like issues like this, you don't really see optimistic views of it.
Like, it's one of the reasons why I'm kind of reticent to finish Wandering Sun. Is it just feels like a lot of emotional work, and this show is a lot more easy to digest. I mean, yes, there are the heavier moments, but it has plenty of levity. Fighting game character. It's Senpai, right?
Well, the most athletic.
Yeah. Senpai, the Otonoko, is very athletic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the next show is A Journey Through an... wait.
That is what it's called.
It's a longer one. A Journey Through Another World, Raising Kids While Adventuring. So what are your takes on this?
I watched an episode of it. Basically, he's isekai'd, and he finds these 2 kids in the forest. I think he's destined to raise these kids. I was hoping it'd be better, but it didn't hold me enough to watch a second episode.
I mean, it's likely better that it's... Like, I think it would have been a problem if the main character was a woman, and they're just like, hey, bitch, take care of these kids. But still, it is also he is getting domestic work thrust on him without his choice. And that is bad, even without the context of the patriarchy.
They are capable of fighting, though. Like, they are very strong, these kids.
I don't know if parents of small kids think parenting is hard, but at least my kids are strong and can fight me. That'll make it easier.
That's what Dragon Ball Z taught me. That's how I live my life. I think I turned out alright.
So I'm guessing the kids are going to be the fighting game character, even though that might be a bit dark.
I actually really like that because, like, it'd be a very fun mechanic that you control both of the characters at the same time.
Or they're like two kids in a trench coat.
That'd be fun too.
Okay, next on, we're moving into Café Familia, or also known as the Café Terrace and its goddesses. Season 2.
See, the only opening of the show is not as fun as the first season's opening.
Nothing as fun as the first season's opening.
For those who don't know, this is made by the author that made Suzuka, which is an ecchi show that has adult themes. Literally, girl wants to go to the Olympics, gets pregnant, has a child.
And then in the sequel manga, the child dies.
But not in the anime. The child doesn't die in the anime. But in the manga, what happened?
The child dies and gets replaced in the story by another character who has the same name. And that's kind of dark.
It looks very similar.
Yes. They were like, we want the kid to die, but we still want to have that character around, so let's just make a new one.
So, this show is weird. Like, super weird. Like, I don't know how to describe this show. Basically,
it's like a less refined quintessential quintuplets. I mean, it's closer to the Lao Hina on the spectrum.
Yeah. I don't just, like, I have my faves. It's definitely the mustache bassist girl. She's the best girl. But unlike the other two shows, there's not a true blue-haired girl. Okay, not that one. I hope it's not that one. Please don't let the blue-haired girl be the winner of this show. But the big discovery is that all the women's grandparents worked at the cafe in the past. Basically, main guy's grandmother dies. He has to come back and has to run her cafe. And there's 5 women that are staying there. 3 of them are committed to the love path. One of them is obsessively a bad character, literally cannot handle alcohol. It's a bad trait. Don't like it. Straight edge forever. And the other girl, failed actress. One of them is just a fashion designer. Other is a high schooler. I don't like her. I'll never like her. The other one is in a band. She's the best girl.
She is.
By far. I'm waiting for someone to die.
Okay.
That's kind of my big thing. That's kind of my big thing. Wait, someone already has died, so never mind. Someone died. The grandmother died right away. So one of the characters' mom was almost about to die of terminal cancer, but then she decided, "No, I'm not going to die of terminal cancer," and got better. One of the characters,
it's all in the willpower, guys. It's all in the willpower.
Had dementia, but actually didn't have dementia. So yes, she's cured of dementia. Because she didn't actually have dementia.
Okay, and we won't be the Marxist Clover without talking about the finances involved in the land prices in this world.
The land prices in this world are crazy. They bought like a building for like $20,000 or something. It was crazy. It's a dream. And I'm like, oh, but the problem with the Marxists is that's very anti-Marxist. That's just promoting capitalists to come and buying up Japanese real estate. And
that's true. I mean, at least they're using the land. Because he created an arrangement where he provided capital and then allowed these characters to pay it off in increments.
There's an evil cafe where the girls are all hired from like an agency. But then they're fine, and they're now part of the gang. Not part of the harem, but they're part of the gang. They all have their OTP that they're rooting for.
So he had the opportunity to be a landlord. So at least he didn't do that.
Yeah.
It's the high standards we have now. At least they're not a landlord.
Yeah.
Okay, you're gonna hate this, but fighting character is the blue-haired girl.
Not the drunk girl.
I mean, they're both bad, but at least the blue-haired girl can fight when she's not distracted.
That's true. She actually does say fighting game character.
Right.
I think she does like a Hadouken.
She's a fan.
Yeah, she is a fan.
Well, let's just move on to VTuber Legend. How I went viral after forgetting to turn off my stream. So this show, I think we have complicated feelings about it. It's a really good representation of VTuber culture. Or at least a fun representation of it.
Yeah. I'm not into VTuber stuff. I watched a decent amount of this. I will say this is a creative show. It does a lot of...
The art style is quite nice.
And its adaptation's fascinating. Like, when it chooses to be artsy, it's not bad.
And it is a show that understands VTuber culture. So if you are a VTuber fan, I think you'd enjoy it. So, I mean, it's always good to see different communities getting their interests represented. I think it's a very subjective show.
Yeah. I don't really want to say anything bad about it, because, like, I feel like a voyeur. Like, I feel like I'm not... I don't feel like
it's a show kind of made for people in the community, I guess.
Yeah. I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's great. I didn't really enjoy watching it most of the time. But it's one of those shows where I'm like, I think it's not meant for me. So,
who's the fighting game character? The main character? She could probably throw beer cans in the game.
I want it to be the baby character.
Don't make it the baby character. Baby. Don't make it the baby character. Moving on to Dahlia in the Bloom. Crafting a fresh start with magical tools.
A lot of hot takes. A lot of. I'm gonna be the toxic person of our group. This is a better Sentence of the Bookworm. Boom. Roasted Sentence of the Bookworm. That is
going to be an episode, by the way.
This is one of the best isekai. Like I've read a lot of webcomics. This feels like a webcomic. I think it's a very good isekai webcomic romance, like Korean webcomic romance. I think every character in the show is great. Like, the supporting cast of the show is immaculate. Like, the characters that you're supposed to dislike, you dislike because you're supposed to dislike them, which I cannot overstate is actually an achievement of a show. And there's not really many characters to dislike. Easiest answer is the redhead herself is the fighting game character, because she would make fun contraptions to use to fight.
Oh, yeah. And also, she does have a great character design.
She does. I like her. She's great. Also, it's a show that doesn't really think about its isekai. At times, I don't even know why it has an isekai.
Yeah, I mean, that's a problem with the good chunk of isekais, is there's no real reason for it to be an isekai. But, oh well.
Alright, so next up.
Love is Indivisible by Twins. There's a lot to say and also not a lot to say.
The first episode of the show, as I said earlier, big fan of fan fiction. Love my trashy, melodramatic breakup, like, to the point where, like, you don't even realize why do these characters even like each other in the beginning.
Like, if this was a standalone one-episode short, that first episode, you would have been like, great.
Yeah, basically two twins growing up next to a main guy. Love the main guy.
The main guy is a child who's actually, spiritually at least, a 35-year-old man. He's a 35-year-old man. Like, that's how he acts, that's how he speaks.
The main two girls are kind of weird. I like when they're young, they're kind of fun. A little weird, though. One of them reads Murakami. To bring back Murakami again, they read Norwegian Wood and say that it's lewd, and I'm like, yeah, that's a very lewd story. Like, I find it questionable that you're letting your youngins read Murakami at that age.
Yeah, how young were they when they read Norwegian Wood?
Were they in elementary school? Like, they had to be in elementary or middle school when they read Norwegian Wood. Well, because I think of, like, the show to the very faux, like, intellectualism, where it's like, we're so cool, we like reading, like, the cool books. Also, it's like Murakami, it's a Westerboo show. A term that I don't know if it's in vogue, but like this is very much obsessed with like Western culture. Like there's a lot of references, like almost to the point where it's like there's an anime references, but like anime that's popular in America, like Cowboy Bebop. Like I don't know if I've ever seen another show reference Cowboy Bebop before. That's an anime.
And when we say Westerboo, so there's a Bible quote brought up in this show, and it's not just the Bible quote. They say the Bible quote in the original Aramaic. I mean, that's nerd energy.
It is.
The philologist in me enjoyed it. Yeah, speaking about... Because I don't know if it is pseudo-intellectual, because it does nail some things.
I guess
like
it does.
The Aramaic.
That is true.
So, in I think episode 10, there's a chess game.
Yeah.
And you can see the position on the board. And I plugged in the position onto an analysis board. And for once, it was an actual accurate chess position in media. Most of the time when you see chess in media, they set the board up completely wrong. The position doesn't make any sense. This was like an actual real chess position that's possible and fit in with the story that was going on. And I looked it up on the database, and it's not like a pre-existing position, which I don't know which is more impressive. Like, I would have been impressed if it was an actual position and they just were making a reference to it. But it's maybe more impressive that the people making this knew enough about chess to draw a realistic position that fit in with the story without just copying it from a pre-existing position. But that just made me really happy, because chess fans are usually given a short shrift in media.
Definitely.
Fighting game character.
It's gonna be the nerdy girl.
Not the jock?
Yeah, I'm just trying to be trolly. Yeah.
Okay.
She like, read my book.
Can she hit you with a book?
That'd be cool.
Kind of slam you with some Murakami as she starts sprouting Aramaic.
Her shows her ears. It shows her ears, and they're like, oh my god, that's her finisher. Yeah.
More Murakami references.
Yeah.
Next up is Twilight Out of Focus.
Or as I call it, the show that got rid of the Crunchyroll comments.
Yeah, so long story short is, from what we understand, when the show first aired, the comment section got filled with hateful homophobic comments. And Crunchyroll rightfully shut it down, but the solution was to shut down the whole comment section. So now there's no comments on any Crunchyroll video at all. And yeah, I understand why they did it, and it is hard to have a team big enough to curate comments. And it's certainly no comments is better than
the homophobic and hate speech
Yeah, than letting hate speech be there. But at the same time, I mean, it would have been nice if we could live in a world where Crunchyroll could moderate comments and we can still have a comment section. Next up is Plus-Sized Elf.
It's kind of funny. Kind of fell off of it though.
Oh, okay.
If you watch it on High Dive, it is full nudity on High Dive.
High Dive is adventurous in that way.
Yeah, they are. It's funny. It's short. Basically, fantasy women come to the real world. You get fat. Main character helps them get unfat. But usually, like, the main character just will go. Like, it's not hard to go back to the fantasy world. You just have to be able to fit through a doorway. And if you're too fat, you can't fit through the doorway.
Okay, so this is not as body positive as I was expecting it to be.
No. Well, but the thing is that it's really easy to get unfat. And it's weird. It's a weird show. Like, it's funny. It's funny when you watch, but when I describe it, it sounds pretty awful.
Any fighting game characters?
Actually, any of the women in the show, because like all of them are fantasy monsters. Main girl, it's kind of fun. I only watched like 3 episodes of this.
And next one is Dungeon
People. Recommend it. It's good. I watched a few episodes of it, but then it kind of got out of my rotation. Just never wanted to catch up on it. Basically, main girl's looking for her dad who went missing in this dungeon, but then comes to find out, but then eventually gets very far in the dungeon and then is hired by the dungeon to work there and help them with that. Because like finds out everybody in the dungeon is actually there as a job and they're not all just like mindless monsters. It's very cute. It's very pleasant. I recommend it quite a bit. And some people are like, it's kind of lolly. I'm like, yeah, but it's the art aesthetic. It's fine. I don't really care about it at all in that respect. It's aesthetic. It's a very cute show. Fighting a character, it is the person who runs the dungeon because they are the strongest character in the show.
Okay.
It's the blue-haired character. Yeah, I think it's just a cute show.
Next one we got Tasuketsu, Fate of the Majority.
Okay. This is a survival game anime, and if you've watched enough survival game anime, you know, oh, I see. And I'm like, yes, exactly. It is for the people that like survival games. It's very weird. Like in the first few episodes, like almost everyone dies, but then like they mess with the rules and like everybody comes back to life, but then like they make it so you can't mess with the rules like that ever again. I don't know. It's really weird. I didn't really like it. This is a show I dropped.
I can't talk about survival games without mentioning the comedy anime Sabegabu, Survival Game Club. No, it's just a really fun comedic anime that's just very rewatchable. The main character is an unhinged psychopath, but you know, besides that, all fun and games.
Then you got Ramen Akaneko. It reminds me of Fluffy Paradise, and hopefully it's better than Fluffy Paradise because Fluffy Paradise has one good episode.
It has the greatest birthday party of all time, and
it does.
Everything goes down from there, both in terms of the show and the main character's life. Nothing will ever be as good as the birthday party.
That if we ever do a bad anime of the year, that could easily go into one of the bad anime of the year lists.
Yes. One of the continuing shows this season is The Raven Does Not Choose His Master. And I do want to talk about that, because it's a really good show. It's like in a fantasy Edo setting. It has the inner intrigue of Oka, the inner chambers, but not as depressing as that. It's just really well written and well done. The interesting thing about the premise is all the people in this world are also ravens. Like, they can transform into ravens. They can switch back and forth between being human form and raven form. And there's a lot of interesting like dynamics with that. Like, the aristocrats never transform into raven form, and like aristocratic women are actually like shielded from ever seeing people in their raven form, or at least transforming. There are people who are condemned to be in their raven form forever. There's just a lot of unusual dynamics that come out from that. And yeah, I just wanted to give it a shout out because I think more people should watch it. Mm-hmm. And again, fighting game characters, it's tough. I mean, there's a few candidates. Transforming into a raven could make things interesting.
Definitely. I mean, Spice and Wolf, definitely watch it. If you haven't seen it before, watch Spice and Wolf. It's great. Lawrence will just bore you with taxes. Some people would say Holo, but I think Lawrence is where it's at for fighting game.
Ooh. I mean, what's more valuable in a fight than being able to tell counterfeit coins apart from real coins?
Exactly. I've heard a lot of good things about the time I got reincarnated as a slime.
That's a whole like franchise we just have not caught up with, and I'm sure it's great.
I've read the manga. We have a friend that's pretty caught up with it and really likes it.
Okay, so let's go to the last show we'll be talking about, which is 2.5 Dimensional Seduction.
So the show will be continuing into next season.
24 episodes. Hey.
Yeah. I like the show quite a bit. Best girl is the teacher. Because I don't have to feel weird about calling her best girl. Even though we learned how old she was. Which is 22. Which is the most stereotypical. If you have an adult woman, she's going to be 22.
Right. I mean, she does bend the ethics quite a bit.
Yeah, but there's been some some pretty decent educational discussion recently, because you're quite a bit behind in the show, I think now.
Yes.
There's been some decent moments in education that I've liked hearing. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, that's pretty cool.
So this is Dress Up Darling but horny.
Basically.
So this is a show about cosplayers.
Yes, and about a cosplay club. And that was a manga club, but then became a cosplay club. And about going to cosplay, Comatech. I think that's the whole next arc of the show that'll be happening next season, is that they're doing that. Introduces a wide array of fun characters. The main ship of the show is pretty funny.
They're very dense,
like it a lot.
both of them.
They're very dense. The show even makes fun of how dense they are.
They even do a parody version of the Dress Up Darling train scene.
That they do.
There is a childhood friend for all you losing heroines.
Yes.
And she's another contender for Best Girl. What I admire about the childhood friend is she helps the main girl with fashion, even though she knows it hurts her chances of getting the guy she wants. And that's very big of her, and I don't think I would have been that big, or most people would have been that big. So no, that's great. She also, it's kind of implied that that when she was in middle school, a producer may have tried to...
Oh, that's right. Oh, that was really bad.
Mike, there could have been some dark things happening, and I mean, she managed to avoid it, and it's kind of treated very lightly, and it was a bit weird how blasé they were about that.
Oh, yeah, no. Oh, there's a lot of dubious things in here.
A lot of dubious things. I mean, at times they're basically filming a porno at school, and... there's got to be some liability issues there for starters.
And eventually, there is discussion about why... eventually, we get to the point where this is legalized at school, which I'm excited for you to get to that point in the show.
Official authorization.
There's official authorization. And I like the principal a lot. The principal has, some pretty fun takes.
Okay.
And seems like an interesting guy. Yeah. There's a character you haven't introduced yet. She's a cosplayer. I really like her. She's kind of fun. I'm excited to watch more of this. This is one of my favorite shows to watch this season, largely because it's just so... It's really funny. It's very pleasant to watch. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dubious things aside, it's very enjoyable. Only on High Dive.
Very, very enjoyable. Only on High Dive. High Dive kind of had a lot of good shows this season. Not gonna lie.
They have been pretty good. They consistently have a good selection.
High Dive is worth it. They have some good gems on there.
They really do.
Oh, I mean, actually, we're not advertising it. If you can't afford it, don't do it. If you want to watch stuff, watch how you can.
Yes, we're not going to endorse or condemn any way of watching something. But if Sentai Filmworks wants to sponsor us,
we'll be like, they are the best. We love you. You licensed Roxaphon. That's all that matters.
That is a big plus.
They also have the Legend of Galactic Heroes, which one day
we'll finish it.
One day we'll finish it. I think that's about everything that we wanted.
Yeah.
Oh, fighting game character. Technically, we learned that the teacher is good at fighting games.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Easy one.
Yeah, and she basically can look like a fighting game character because she can play herself in a fighting game.
I like this. Well, that was our review of the summer 2024 anime season. This is a different type of episode than we usually do, so I hope you didn't mind it.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a little bit unstructured,
and
we'll be getting to more detailed and more analytical episodes later. Analytical, yeah.
Analytical, definitely.
Let us know if you liked it, or if you don't like it, just send us a manifesto at marxistclover@gmail.com.
Yeah.
And and thanks for spending your time with us.
Yeah, thank you.
Oi, Kudo.